that was the rent guy. So anyway, I realized that I needed to reorient my perspective, and that's so much what the yoga practice is about. It's giving us, or perhaps inviting us to realize that we already have the tools that we need within ourselves to do the practice and to find a sense of connection with our hearts and spacious awareness within ourselves, so that no matter what arises, we can be in the midst of it with a sense of deeper connection and recognizing that we already have the tools. It's just a matter of learning to access them. And as soon as I got home, I saw this amazing Ganesha that my partner had bought. And I'm just going to show you that. This is our altar right here. And so he's pretty fierce. And Kuan Yin is sitting beside him. And Ganesha has continued to come into my life on a number of occasions. And what he reminds us of as the guardian of the threshold, he guards and protects the threshold of the heart and the inner sanctuary, so that we as practitioners, when we're ready to access the heart, it's like approaching this place within ourselves, but we also need the right amount of ingredients to access this space. When Parvati created Ganesha, she had to bring together just the right amount of magic and ingredients in order to really create a little boy. And in so doing, what Ganesha represents is he gives us the capacity to enter into the space of the heart, and yet it's in a way that, rather than giving us, if we're going through an intense time, like just giving us exactly what we need, he actually invites us to find within ourselves the tools necessary and just the right amount of ingredients to move across the threshold of the heart and really find that spacious place and the place of connection. So that's what I've been playing with in my own life, and that's what we're going to play with today. What is just the right amount of what you need in your own practice, and how can you continue to access that over and again, because it changes every day, but for the most part, there will be consistency, right, each day. And so we're going to play today with one of my favorite kinds of practices, which is a full spectrum practice. It's a little bit of everything. We'll do some Surya Namaskar, some just basic warm-up poses, some handstanding, maybe forearm balance, and work towards some back bends with some hip openers, of course, in there, and maybe a few hand balances, and then some quieting chill time at the end. And those of you who practice with me regularly will see we'll probably do this like under 90 minutes, so that will be quite a feat. All right, so sit well. You can widen your sitting bones back and apart. Dakota will join us. And as you begin to really come into your seat, you can close your eyes. You join your index and thumb fingers together. Rather than pulling your hands way forward, pull your hands back so that you can feel your shoulder blades sweetly drawing in toward your spine and onto your back body. And then closing your eyes, allow your breath to flow naturally. And as you connect your awareness with the rhythmic flow of breath, allow your breath to draw you inward. Into a deeper space within yourself, the threshold of your heart, which is the threshold of immense possibility and potential. Drink in your breath so that you feel it in your low belly, low back. And then all the way up the midsection of your body into your chest, your upper back. You feel your whole being moving because of the flow of your breath. Notice how every inhale, as you expand, there is a natural tendency to actually connect more fully to your own center, your own midline that runs from the crown of your head all the way down the length of your spine through pelvic floor. And then with your exhale, as there's a softening, mind softening, skin softening, notice how your energy naturally expands from the midline out, permeating all of the cells in your being with conscious energy, with awareness. Today, what ingredients and how much of each ingredient will invite you to cross the threshold into your heart? And if it helps you to visualize Ganesha with his elephant head and belly containing the entire universe and bowl of sweets, you can invoke his presence. And if it's just connecting with breath, connecting with your heart, connecting with the ocean of potential energy that lives beyond the threshold of your heart, then you can do that as well. We're going to keep the chanting really basic today. 3 rounds of Om. As I get more used to this, we'll chant other stuff. So you can fold your hands to Anjali Mudra and welcome in a full breath. Feel the resonance of the Om within you. And then bowing your head to your heart, let's take a moment to honor this deep inner presence. Releasing your hands, open your eyes, and let's come to down dog. So you can stretch out in downward facing dog. Place your hands so that you could draw a straight line from outer deltoid or outer shoulder, and that line comes to the center of your wrists. Wrist creases more or less parallel to the front of your mat. And then with an inhale, you have your knees further back, a little bit further back than your hips, so you have space to move into down dog. With an inhale, lengthen through the sides of the body, breathing space into the back of your rib cage and waistline, and then exhaling, soften your shoulder blades onto your back body. Maintain this connection as you laterally widen collarbones just a little bit so you feel more spacious in your heart. And then as you're ready, you can exhale and stretch back, downward facing dog. Play with breathing space into the back of your waistline. So for me, that's a big part of my recipe, is rather than letting the low back and mid back collapse, it's a fullness here. So if that's part of what you need, you can play with accessing that by inhaling and breathing space into the back of your waistline, and also just creating the sensation of your abdominals engaging. With your next inhale, shift forward to plank pose, and again, staying full through the back body, soften your heart toward the earth. Exhaling, shift forward a little more, and then slowly lower chaturanga. And you can pause here, and then with your inhale, sweep your heart forward and up for Bhujangasana. So here you can look back at each foot just to see that your feet are lined up skillfully. Bending your elbows a little bit out to the sides. Pull your hands back isometrically to sweep the sides of your waistline forward. You get lots of space there. And then exhaling as you scoop your tailbone, hug elbows in, draw tops of your ears back. And then with your next exhale, stretch back, downward facing dog pose. Inhaling, bring your right foot to the midline, stretch your left leg into the air behind you. Oh, well, you can't see that. And you can bend your knee and actually open your hip to the side wall. See if you can keep your upper body level as you do this, as in keep your shoulders level. And then inhaling, sweep your left foot through between your hands to lunge pose. Okay, I'm going to need to adjust this. Inhale, stretch your arms overhead. Play with pulling your back foot forward energetically to lift the right thigh bone, and then cranking your front hip back, scooping your front buttock under you to stretch. With your next exhale, lower your hands down to the earth and step back, plank pose. And then exhaling, chaturanga. Inhale, rise up, Bhujangasana. I'm going to do a lot of cobra poses. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Bringing your left foot to the midline, inhale your right leg up. And same thing, you can bend your knee, open your hip, but play with maintaining a balance in your upper body. As you connect with your breath and your inner body swells on the inhale, play with just sweetly pulling in, so you're creating a sense of toning and engagement in your muscles. A sense of safety and support. Inhale your right foot through between your hands, lunge pose. So same thing here, lifting your back thigh, give your front hip, draw it back, so you're cranking it back a little bit, and even scooping your tailbone, you can hollow out through the belly a little bit as you rise up. Inhaling, stretch your arms overhead. Again, pulling the back foot forward energetically. Allow that to help you lift your left thigh up and stretch it out through the front leg. With your exhale, lower your hands down to the earth and step back once again, downward facing dog. Adho Mukha Svanasana. Inhale, space into your back body. Exhale, soften your heart and stretch out through your bones. So you can feel this expansion of energy through your whole being. Bending your knees at the end of your exhale, light jump or walk. And inhale, gaze forward. With your exhale, fold. And once again, so legs engaging. So play with spreading your toes and hugging your muscles in sweetly, so you're supporting yourself here. Inhaling, come up halfway, and exhaling, bow. And once again, inhale, stretch your heart forward, and with your exhale, fold. And then inhaling, rise all the way to standing. Yep. So I'll figure this video thing out eventually. And then exhale, fold your hands to your heart, Anjali Mudra. As you inhale here, get spacious on all sides of your being. Draw the sides of your waistline up out of your pelvis so you can feel more room for your breath. I'm going to open the window here. It's a little hot. Exhaling, lower your hands, and then inhale, sweep your arms overhead. With your exhale, bow forward, Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Inhaling, gaze forward. And with your exhale, step your right leg back again, lunge pose. So what's the right combination for you? And it's always, how can you be sensitive to what is in this moment? How can you meet yourself exactly where you are without trying to force or change anything? So it's an invitation to really be present with yourself and what's up for you right now. Walking your hands over to the right, you can actually spin your heart open to the left, leaning into your right hand. Push down into your left thigh bone, spin your heart open, and then stretch your left arm alongside your ear. Every inhale, play with pulling the back foot forward energetically to lift your right thigh bone and breathe into the right kidney. Exhaling, scoop your left buttock to stretch out, full stretch through the bones in your legs. One more full breath. If you're a hyperextender like me, play with giving a little what feels like a bend so that you're not hyperextending. Exhaling, circle it around. Pivoting your back heel to the earth here. Have your back foot so that it's more or less facing, toes facing sidewall. And then placing your palms down. You can play with down dog in your upper body as you continue lunging and breathing. With an inhale here, hug your feet energetically toward each other and feel that, allow that pulling in to support the fullness that you're creating in your inner body and your inner experience, and especially in the back waistline. And then exhaling as you scoop your tailbone, stretch out, extend energy along your bones so that you feel an awakening, an enlivening in every part of the pose. Good, and then from here, you can just pivot your back foot a little more so it's turned forward and start to work to the inside. A few things here. You can either work your front shoulder under your knee, like that. You can play with just staying upright, maybe wrapping your front armpit around the shin, or you can just be on the inside here, scooping tailbone and working to get more space in the front of the hip. If you want to go for the bind, you can. Inhaling, unwind. That's enough of that. Lifting your back heel, rather than like grabbing with your front quad, just play with dragging energetically your left foot back and then stepping back, downward facing dog. So you're engaging the underside of the leg, the hamstrings. Spreading your toes here. Keep engaging arches, okay? So rather than just collapsing the heels toward the earth, inhaling, spread toes. Exhaling, stretch out through your whole pose. And with your inhale, shift forward, plank once again. So exhaling, shift back, stretch back through your heels. And then inhaling, fullness through the back body. With your exhale, maintain this as you shift forward and lower chaturanga. And then inhaling, rise up, bhujangasana. Again, spreading your toes, hug your legs in. With your exhale, scoop your tailbone back to support the opening of your heart. Sternum drawing forward, shoulder blades curling in toward your heart. And with your exhale, downward facing dog. Inhaling, step your right foot through between your hands. Yeah, and again, walking your hands over to the left. You can stay on your left hand, back leg steady, and bring your right hand to your thigh bone. Pushing down into your front thigh bone, allow that to help you create lots of space through the right side body. So to me, spacious awareness, space in the body, super important. It's one of my most important ingredients. When we feel spacious in our bodies, spin your heart open and stretch. Then we tend to feel more spacious in our emotional selves and in our minds. Inhaling, draw from your feet, from your hands, all the way into the core of your belly, your solar plexus, third chakra. And exhaling from there, stretch out, radiate energy out through your whole pose. One more breath. Exhaling, circle your hand to the earth. Yeah, and again, pivoting the back heel. Have your hands pretty close to the inside of your front foot. Play with this scissoring action. So the front hip draws back, your thigh bone integrating into your hip socket, and then scooping your tailbone, you can create more space in the front waistline. And then softening heart down, bow to the inside. Deep breaths here. Every inhale connecting you more deeply inwardly as you draw sweetly in, and every exhale inviting you to a sense of more spacious awareness, extending out. Good. Pivoting your back heel, you can shift your stance a little bit here, and scissoring your hips, your choice. Either stay here, you can work your right shoulder under your knee. You can go for the bind. Keep hugging the front knee toward the midline. It'll want to go out maybe, if you're me anyway. Inhaling, unwind, and again, same thing. Pull your front foot back energetically to access the hamstrings so the quads don't have to grip. Deep breaths here. So again, it's like you're drinking in the breath, letting it take you to a place of connection with your deep inner experience. Exhaling, bend your knees, look forward. Inhale, gaze, Ardha Uttanasana. And exhale, fold. Bending your knees here about 2 inches. Take your hands to your upper inner thighs, hugging your heels energetically toward each other to create a sense of cohesive awareness and connection with muscles. You can now play with widening. Use your hands to widen your thigh bones apart. Literally widen the tops of the femurs into the hip sockets. Keep that as you push your thighs back, making your legs straight. And then scooping your tailbone down, lower your fingertips to the floor, and with your shoulder blades on your back folded. Inhaling, come up halfway. Exhaling, bow. Inhaling, rise up, stretch up, keeping legs steady. And with your exhale, fold your hands to Anjali Mudra at your heart. So here I am standing in front of Ganesha, inviting me to a place of steadiness in myself. Ganesha not only guards the threshold of the heart, we know that he's the remover of obstacles, but he removes obstacles by bringing them into our awareness, first and foremost. Okay, so helping us to shift our awareness, our perspective around them. Look at your feet. And with your inhale, get really bright again, drawing sides of your waistline up off of the pelvis. Exhale, lower your hands. And with your inhale, stretch up. Exhaling, bow Uttanasana. Inhaling, gaze forward. Or with your exhale, you can go back to plank or chaturanga. Inhaling, rise up, cobra, or upward facing dog. Pulling shoulder blades to your back. And exhaling, downward facing dog. Inhale your left foot through between your hands and pivot your back heel to the earth. And you can walk your hands to the inside just to give you an awareness of the back leg. Super important. Inhaling, pull in, and then exhaling, scoop your front buttock under you to give you more space in the front waistline as you lunge to 90 through the front leg. You can use this right hand to hook it on your iliac crest and pull down towards your back foot. And that'll help open up the QL, the quadratus lumborum, the side body. Inhale, right shoulder blade onto the back, and then stretch your arm alongside your ear. So a good ingredient here, the breath. Open to your breath. But then an awareness of the back leg. Pull your right foot back energetically to give you the space you need for the pelvis to line up. With your next exhale, start to push your left thigh bone back toward the hamstring. You can walk your left fingertips so that they're directly under your arm bone. With an inhale here, get spacious in your whole presence, in your whole being, and pull your muscles to your bones. Pull into yourself. And then exhaling, scoop your front buttock under you to spin your heart open and stretch your top arm, Trikonasana. Deep breath. Be aware of where your breath is moving really freely and where it might not be. You can inhale your arm alongside your ear. Okay, we're going to come up to standing, so grounding through the back leg. Inhale, rise up, and with your exhale, bend your front knee to 90. Looks weird, huh? And again here, with hands on your hips, you can bow forward, even widen your right thigh bone over to the right to wrap your front buttock under you. Breathe space into the right side body. Turning left palm up, inhale, tip back. Breathing space into the right side body. Spin your inner body a little to the left just so you get some room there. And then inhaling, come back. Exhaling, push left thigh bone back. Trikonasana. And so rather than just pushing the thigh back, balance this with a pulling this front foot back. So you're engaging the whole underside of the leg. Okay, do the same thing with the right leg. Push your right foot down into the floor and pull it back energetically. So the back leg's super strong. And then placing the left palm on the floor, shoulder blade, so that's shoulder blade off, shoulder blade on. So we want, that's a perfect part of the recipe. We need, right, a connection. We want the shoulder blade to connect with the back body, okay? And that's going to allow us to be safe as we sweep this left foot forward, bend the knee even, take hold of the outer foot, back leg, super steady, right? Scooping front buttock under, you can push your foot into your hand. Stretching arm alongside the ear, inside Vishvamitrasana. Deep breath. Exhaling, place your left leg down, okay? You can pull it back towards you a little bit, and then lifting the back foot, bending the back front knee, step back, down dog. I'm going to have to switch sides. Hey, okay, so now we can do the other side. The inhale, shift forward, plank, and with your exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, rise up, bhujangasana, and with your exhale, Adho Mukha, down dog. All right, inhaling, step your right foot through between your hands, walking your hands to the inside, pivot your left heel to the earth. Yeah, and again, same thing. So as you breathe in, to maintain a spaciousness in your awareness, play with pulling your feet in. So accessing a sense of engagement, and it's just enough that's going to support you. And now pushing your left foot down, this back foot, pull it back energetically so you feel the back of your leg engaging. Maintain that as you widen your left thigh bone over, and then scooping your front buttock under you, take your right hand to the outside. With your left hand on your iliac crest, you can pull down along the vector of the leg. And then inhale, lengthen more through the left side body. Good. Keep that to stretch your arm alongside your ear. Deep breath. With your exhale, you can push your right thigh bone back and Trikonasana. Let's do this again. With an inhale, draw energy in toward yourself, and then exhaling, stretch out through your bones to spin your heart. The front buttock is fully wrapping underneath you. Feel your breath. And the breath is what infuses every part of your being with awareness. Inhaling, stretch your arm alongside your ear. Wrap front buttock under you. Feel how when you scoop your tailbone, you wrap your front buttock under you. You can even draw in to solar plexus. Pull energy from your feet, from your hands, into the core of your belly to stretch out, and inhale, rise up. With your exhale, bend your front knee to 90. I just need to be able to see. Hands on your hips. Inhaling, bow forward and pulling the left foot back energetically. Okay, engage hamstrings. Widening the top of the left thigh, wrap your front buttock under you and stretch your arms. Turning right palm up, inhale, tip back. The mat is still slipping. So as you inhale, rise up. As you're stretching out, play two with balancing, pulling in. Inhale here, exhale back through Trikonasana. Good. So remember, we're going to take the hand to the hip. You can place your right hand on the floor. The key to this is the back leg. So Ganesha helps us to move through intense things that seem like challenges in our lives. And the challenges are good because they invite us to tap into the fierceness or the empowerment or the love or whatever it is that we think we're disconnected from, right? All of that is already inside. It's just a matter of learning how to access it. So key here's the back leg. Pull your left foot back energetically. Hug your heel forward this way. So you're pulling back, hamstrings, back heel pulls forward, adductors, super strong. Right shoulder blade on the back, leaning into the right hand, bring your leg forward. Bending your right knee, go over the top of the foot, and then push. Breathe. Placing the foot down, then you can come up to your fingertips, lift the back heel, bend your front knee, and step back, down dog. All right, bend your knees, look forward, light jump. Inhaling gaze. Exhale, full hold. Same thing, legs are steady, so you pull your feet back energetically, and in pulling the feet back, it engages the muscles in the backs of the legs. Scooping your tailbone, get heavy in the legs, and inhale, rise up, stretch up. Which leg do you need to extend out through more powerfully? Draw your solar plexus, so the front of your third chakra, draw it to the back of the third chakra. And with your exhale, release your hands and open your eyes if they were closed. And we're going to pause to do some handstands. So I've been playing with one of my favorites, moving from Prasarita Padottanasana to handstand. So we're essentially going to be taking a shorter stance in Prasarita, which is wide-legged standing forward fold. But we're not going to go as wide as usual so that we can lift the hips up, lift the sacrum up, so that there's more power in the arms to press up, okay? So we'll play with this. I'll try it right here, actually. All right, so the hands are placed just so. Again, outer delt to center of the wrist. It might look really wide to you. Play with it, because that's going to give you more power. And you don't want to go too wide, just like you don't want to go too narrow. We need just the right amount of ingredients to tap into the threshold of the heart. Okay, so adjust your jewelry as you need to. Okay, and now grounding down through the four corners of the hands. Inhale, lengthen the sides of your body. Exhale, soften heart. Now widen out through collarbones and puff up through your back waistline. Draw your navel toward your spine here, okay? Walk your feet forward. You're going to have to lean way far forward. The chair is in my way. So there's furniture in here that you can't see. So if you've got furniture in your way, just make sure you move it out so you have room. Okay. And so I'm shifting my weight so far forward that I can actually get a lift. Now, what's nice about that is, you can do that with a friend, and normally in class I'd show the spot. If you are practicing on your own, then just play with going against the wall. If you're tighter in your hamstrings, stand up on blocks so you have more lift in the pelvis, and that'll help you a lot. And then you can even put the back of your head, like right where my hair is, you can put that against the wall, pushing your head into the wall, and that's going to help you go up. I think the hardest thing there is actually knowing how close you want to be to the wall. If you're too close, you'll try to get up and then the wall will keep pushing you out. Okay, so you have to back up enough to actually get the space to tip forward. You want to be able to come forward of your hands. Okay, and so usually we don't trust ourselves to go that far forward. It's pretty scary, and it is. And so we just, one foot in front of the other. You don't have to do this all in one day. And I like playing with the feeling of, so once you get your shoulder blades really connected, just pushing down from here, from the solar plexus, right? And it's like a waterfall of energy moving from the solar plexus all the way down shoulder blades, all the way down the arms, into the hands, into the earth, so that that lift through the center and the extension out with connection, with shoulder blades on the back body, actually allows you to be light. We would always say you root energy down to rise up. So we root down from the core of the body into the foundation to allow the rest of the pose to be light. And you can just play with hovering or pretending to hover until you get to a place where you feel like you've made a little headway. And it doesn't matter if you're not doing the full pose. And then just do a regular handstand. It's fine. Just kick into a regular handstand. Try to do it as lightly as possible so that you can feel that sense of weightlessness. So remember, the yogi has Laghima. And Laghima, even though Ganesha is like this huge elephant, well, he's an elephant head, a kid with a large belly, he's still, and he's heavy, right? But all yogis, even Ganesha, have the capacity of being really light in their presence. He brings light into our awareness and reminds us that, oh no, I am you. Like, all of the deities are just aspects of who we are. They're just faces for ourselves, right? So that lightness is accessible for us all, even for Ganesha. So if he's a yogi. If he can do this, you definitely can. So play with that. I'm just going to do, I've already done that a couple times. So I'll just do another regular handstand, and you can do what makes you happy here for the next, minute. Let's say. There's a clock on here. I can just watch. It's great. have an exit strategy always. I like to cartwheel out. Okay, I don't know what that looked like, but it's been a minute and 15. So let's move into forearm balance, and we'll just work with simple pincha and playing with the same action of working here if you need a block between these two fingers. Okay, work with that. You can play with inhaling length. Let me back up a little bit. Length up the sides of the body and really getting full back here. And then exhaling, shoulder blades on the back without doing this. So there's the balance of this fullness and this connection. Okay, we'll look at that right here. So you can turn your palms up initially. Make sure you're giving yourself enough space. You can walk your knees back so you're not way up here. Okay. And now with the forearms up and the hands up, just kind of ground the baby fingers a little bit as you flip your hands back down. We're just moving the forearm fascia out of the way. And then inhaling, get really full through the sides of the body, shrugging your shoulders even up toward your ears. Exhaling, soften your heart down so shoulder blades are on your back. Okay, maintain that, but just broaden out through your collarbones a little bit so you don't feel like you're collapsing. There's a widening. Okay, I have to redo this action always. I think that's super helpful for a lot of women, men too, but especially bendy people. Really play with lifting up through here. Shoulder blades stay on the back. Lifting your knees, walk in. You can play with just stretching a leg. From your heart, push down into the earth to play with rising up. You can separate your feet and scoop your tailbone up. Bending your knees, cross your left leg on top, Gardasana legs. Push out through your right foot. You can get a good psoas line. And switch sides. I adjusted, so if I adjust in the air, if I try to adjust my arms while I'm up in the air, it always makes it come off balance a little bit. So I'm going to do the other side. You can play with that too. So if you want, we'll do the other leg. Yay. So if you want another minute, you can play with that. And I'm going to let you do that as I take a small break. Good girl. Okay, so let's move on to something else. After all that, we'll still do like a few more standing poses. Yeah, that sounds good. Let me pause this quick.